Hello, everybody out there, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, etc. My name is Curtis, the most talented. You can follow me on Twitter or YouTube. Uh, I want to first give a shout out to the Madden community as a whole. My boy, the hip hop gamer, who's inspired me to do this video. Rex Dixon and the development staff at EA Tyrone. I'm making this video today because I want to discuss the Madden football series as a whole and the gaming industry in a whole. It's something that I've been wanting to do for a while. So I hope that I can get some likes, comments, or whatever. We are at Madden Eve, so to speak. I got EA access, so I've played the game already. And to be honest with you, it's probably one of the best Maddens that's come out thus far. But if you play the game, you know that there's a current glitch on the game, and I believe that they're going to fix that. Or at least I hit Rex up on Twitter, and he said that they're going to fix that. Hopefully on the day one patch. But if you're playing it now, and if you're not playing it now, the glitch is basically if you go on defense and you hit the right trigger, or in PlayStation 4's case, if you hit the R2 button, then if you pull up your assignments, if you see the names of the offensive players while you're playing defense, then they're about to run a pass. If you don't, then they're gonna run a play. So hopefully they'll get that patched up and get it taken care of. Now, although this year's version is good, it still lacks what is needed to make it a great game. So once again, this video is to be an initiative to make EA make Madden the best football game ever made. So in order to help EA achieve this, I think we need to first go to the past versions of the game. You see me to the side because I got a lot of stuff that I've written down. I haven't got to a point where I can just shoot off at the hip. So I want to make sure that everything that I want to put out is addressed. So if y'all remember back in '92 when Madden had the ambulance come out on the field and were injured, as funny as it was to see your players get ran over by the ambulance, it was still some type of realism in the game in which it addressed that, hey, injuries do happen. Injuries do occur. And, although those injuries occur or have occurred in the past couple of versions of Madden, I don't think it's been addressed as, as an on-field injury, so to speak. I think that's an element of the game that adds to the presentation of the game, which, in my opinion, is one of the things that has been severely overlooked in the past few years. When we ask EA to improve in presentation, I know the first thing that they're going to say is, well, we'll only make our game slower. And so I know for some years past, I think that was Madden 2011. I think Drew Brees was on the front cover. They wanted to make the game quicker and faster. So hence the menus, the quick selection of the plays. Now I think it's going to enhanced quick, normal type play selection. So I know they're going to say, well, if we bumped up the presentation, it's going to make a game slower. That's not true, because let's examine for a minute all the great sports games that are out right now. Like NBA 2K and MLB The Show. They all have great, excellent presentation, and and of course, presentation can slow down the game, but there's also an option where you can, you know, scale back the presentation. So when you say it's gonna make a game slower, it doesn't make any sense to me. I believe that if the consumer, you're the only game in town, plain and simple. You have monopolized the license. This is the only game that we have, so we got to be hard on EA, Tigron. We have to, because this is the only thing that's going to give us our NFL video game fix. Uh, so once again, I think we need to put the emphasis on presentation. Uh, you know, and I'm gonna tell y'all something. I'm a true gamer. I mean, from Atari 2600 into today in the current systems, and trust me, I've been playing Madden since 1990. You know, so I'm also a consumer who also purchased the other football titles, because even though Madden held the benchmark on where we wanted football games to be, there were still other elements within all the other football games that were out. I mean, I'm talking about NFL Fever, NFL 2K, Capcom Football, Tecmo Bowl, etc., etc. I mean, I was looking to get my NFL fix from all of these games. And I think that's why it's kind of disappointing, in my opinion, that EA doesn't go back to the basics to help them create the best game ever. Earlier, I bought up the 1992 version of Madden with the ambulance, which reminds me of the Madden killer. That is NFL 2K5. Now, me and my buddies, we call it the Madden killer. Uh, back in those days, because, like I said, Madden held the benchmark, and a couple of my buddies was, really skeptical that a game that would cost $20 would beat Madden. But if you don't know the greatness of NFL 2K5, which has been considered the greatest football game ever made, I highly suggest YouTube. And once again, it was $20. Yes, that's right, millennials out there. A great game didn't cost $60. It cost $20. So research that on YouTube when you get a chance. And although it killed Madden, in my opinion, Madden, somewhere, shape, or form, got an extra life, came back and bought the exclusive licenses to the NFL and ESPN. Now, what I think, the reason why I think 2K was a great game, it put an emphasis on presentation and all the things that real life NFL gives us when we watch games on Sundays. They took the extra effort to purchase the right to ESPN, which gives us the familiar sounds of the boomer, Chris Berman. EA, who has yet, in my opinion, to incorporate fully both of those licenses. They have yet to do it. They have many avenues that I'm pretty sure that they can go, but I still don't think that they're using the licenses to their full capability. Now, I don't know, like I say, I don't know fully how much access they officially have with the licenses that they've purchased, but they need to use them to the full potential. Now, in regards to the NFL license, why hasn't why hasn't EA used the NFL Network or NFL Films or NFL Network Radio, NFL Thursday Night Football? When we talk about the ESPN license, Why aren't they using NFL primetime? The mother of all of the ESPN affiliation, Monday Night Football, the NFL Draft, NFL Live. I mean, all these entities within these the networks and the licenses. I'm not understanding why EA is not using the stuff. I mean, all these resources, not one being used full to its full potential, and a $20 game on a system that was 2 generations ago was able to accomplish. I mean, we have 4K capable consoles with all these teraflops and RAMs and external storage capability or capacity, and you still can't make a good football game. I just don't believe that. But it's not all EA's fault though, because we need to first examine the current state of the gaming industry. With the PS4 Neo and the Xbox One Scorpio on the horizon, I'm pretty sure have you, the consumer, feeling like you're due. Well, to be honest with you, you should, because we all been duped. The current generation consoles were pushed out prematurely. If you think I'm hating or you just think I'm blowing steam about that, let's take a minute and reflect on the days of the 360 and the PS3 when games were consistently coming out on a weekly basis. There was no delay on games and 32 and not 32 post patches on games. Okay, the development teams took their time and came out with games that used the max power of that current console. But like I say, this is in large part to the rush release of the Xbox One and the PS4. Games are being delayed, and the quantity of games have diminished, so they feed the customer or the consumer with all of these HD remakes of games we have already played and beaten, indie titles, and subpar AAA titles. This is the current climate because, in my opinion, the real next gen systems are the PS4 Neo and the Xbox One Scorpio. Don't be fooled. The Xbox One S is just a band-aid to stop the bleeding until the real systems come out. Uh, Recently, they just showed the PS4 Slim, which I think, honestly, I'm waiting to see September 7th when they have the conference or whatever. What's that gonna do? Unless that thing goes down on 199 or something like that. What is that gonna do? Neo. I've been hearing things about Neo supposed to be up in their specs to compete with the Scorpio. We'll see how that goes, but the gaming industry itself right now has us buying old games that have been and they're making money on games that we've already played. I love Gears of War. I love it, but an HD remake of the first one. I mean, come on. Anyway, and let's talk the real elephant in the room: backwards capability. Remember how they were saying that they weren't gonna do backwards capability for both PS4 and the Xbox One, and where we at? We're playing all the old games. Out of all the stuff that they come up with to say, okay, this is what needs to be in the next generation console, or this is what the consumers want. At the end of the day, the consumer wants to be able to go back and play those games. Consumers always have, those games, that they cherish, that they love. They never gonna trade that stuff in. They're not gonna sell it, nothing. They're gonna keep them. You know, uh, I if you're a true gamer, video games are almost like albums, in a sense. I'm not gonna get rid of this album. I'm not gonna get rid of that at all because, I remember when I bought this. You know, if you're a true gamer, that's what you do. But I'm going off the deep end here. But you know, like I said, this is the current state of gaming. This should not fully let developers off the hook, though, especially EA, when there have been examples of great sports titles made every year. Once again, there has to be an effort to go back to the basics with developing Madden. Honestly, I'm about quality of instead of a yearly developed game just to satisfy our NFL video game fix. I want some true dedicated time devoted into making Madden not only the best football game or the best sports game, but the best video game, period. In a world where there's so much complaining about this and that, you can't tell folks that there's a problem and not give them some kind of solution. So here lies my solution, ladies and gentlemen. Put Madden on a 1 to 2 year hiatus. Before you guys go crazy, turn me off, and have a fit, seriously, the yearly development cycle is conflicting with the quality of the game. And if you paid any attention to what was said earlier, the real next gen systems have not been released yet. So this gives them perfect time to get the best possible game out. Even though this method may sound extreme, hear me out for a second. Most of us who are disappointed with the game have said so many times before that we are frustrated with Madden and think that the game is nothing more than a roster update. With some time off, I think this will give the developers the time they need to fix the game, and fix everything we as a Madden community have asked for. I definitely think that Rex is tired of addressing two things. Why did this not make this year's Madden? And any questions relating to 2K making football games. I'm pretty sure he's tired of answering those questions. But you're going to keep getting those questions until the quality of the game surpasses 2K5. Once again, a game that came out 2 generations ago is still kicking your butt. And you can't pull the wool over our eyes. We see the evolution of Madden and where it's going. It's taking slowly by a yearly basis. All it's doing is biting off 2K5. It's certain little elements. Y'all just haven't got to the point where y'all doing like post game interviews with players and stuff like that. Everything, all the other elements of 2K5, y'all slowly but surely working those in on a yearly basis. EA needs to go back to the former titles in the series and also do some major research on the competitors' titles as well. Do you guys remember back in the early 90s when halftime shows were conducted by John Madden? And during the presentation, the game would go to the actual games in progress, where a team who needed like a field goal or a touchdown to win the game, we were able to see the last few seconds of the game. Well, do you know what system was able to do that? That doesn't have a teraflop, doesn't have a RAM, doesn't even have a CD drive, Blu-ray drive, 4K drive. Doesn't have the external memory or internal memory that the systems that we're being told or the next gen systems can do. This came from a 16-bit video game console in the Genesis. Okay? Not one damn teraflop. Then there were bone crushing hits that you would hit. You would have on the field, and the helmets would come off. You know, what happened to those? Where are those? As far as the helmets go, I can see probably the NFL licenses may prevent EA from allowing them to make the helmets come off. They want to promote a safer game and all this other stuff. So pretty soon they're gonna take away kickoffs and all this other stuff. I can understand that, but if it's in the game and that's what you told when I turn that system on and I crank that game up, you say if it's in the game, it's in the game. So where is it in the game? I don't see it. Uh, and then like injuries, okay. What happened to the med card coming out? That's 2K5. 2K. I'm telling y'all, 2K5 had it all, but they didn't have this. This is a suggestion for animation. Normally, when someone, gets on the med card or whatever, you know, we know the severity of the injury by what they normally do when they get on the court. If they're good, they're gonna shoot you that thumbs up, or they're gonna cry, or all that other stuff. Why doesn't why can't we get an animation that would basically do that, do just that? Either you're gonna give us a thumbs up, you're gonna cry, or you just ain't gonna do nothing because you can't do nothing. And it is not a canned animation. It's not something that we can trigger as a user. It basically is a 50-50 chance of whether or not he's going to be good. He's going to be out for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or he's just going to be out. You know what I'm saying? I think that's an element of sports games that hasn't made it. So I think that's a cool idea. Uh, One of the things that I did like that they went back to from the older versions was the kick meter. Currently, Madden 17, the kicks are not easy. Okay, they're not. All right, and they're gonna get even if you play all Madden, it's gonna be even tougher. And then I have yet to ice the kicker, so I don't even know what element is are they gonna bring back the icy icon, the NCAA, the football series had. I don't know, but you know. But I do like the way that they went back to that. They got the squib in, they got the normal, the backspin in the sky. But one thing that they're trying to say that they wanted to make Madden more of a simulation type game, and one of the things they implemented, I think it was 2003's version, where I think I'm going out on a limb here, but I think the 2003 was the year that they forced you on 4th and 3. If you were 4th and 3, you had to punt. That's simulation at its best. I the last Madden challenge I saw, I seen the guy go for it on every 4th down. Now, when you playing for money, I can understand that, but if you want to set a sim standard, I think that 4th and 3, forcing users or the player to punt, I think that's the best option. You know what I'm saying? To keep a level playing field. In regards to the online franchise, I would like to see Madden have a true spectator mode. One of the hidden gems in Madden 11 was the ability to view scores from real time from a game that was happening on online franchise. If you guys didn't know that, you could do that. Uh, couldn't see the game, but you could see the scores. Uh, why not allow other users to view big games, like big games of the week or playoff games? I know that users have the ability to stream, but we all know those streams aren't real time. So let's make a real time spectator mode so those within the online franchise can view these games. And when we're viewing the game, like I say, make it a spectator. So it's like as if we're watching it on TV. We're not like we're uh, sitting right next to them and they're picking plays. I don't want to see the plays that they're picking. I don't want to see none of that. I just want to see the game as if it was being broadcast like a regular NFL game. Now I'm gonna get to these licenses. Okay, so as far as the NFL Network goes, uh, or the NFL license, I'm pretty sure it's the NFL Network and the NFL license. That's it's all together. So they have a Sunday pre and post game show. So why not utilize the broadcast analyst on the show in some way? Utilize the Thursday night football package, etc. Then there's a radio side. You got a podcast, commentary, etc. Utilize the license to the full potential. Then there's NFL Films. That in itself, NFL Films, that entity can be the mother lode of what I'm hearing they're wanting to do. Supposedly, they're wanting to make a create or a my career mode or create a character story mode. They've already started it with FIFA. FIFA going to be the benchmark on pretty much, in my opinion, how they want to go with a my career mode. They're using the Frostbite engine, so all the games are going to end up using the Frostbite engine. So, you know, NFL Films has to be implemented into their my career mode. And if I believe they had a 25-year contract with the ESPN license. If you think about it, what's one of the best sports documentary series on ESPN? 30 for 30. So if 30 for 30 can chronicle the story, NFL Films chronicle the story of your career from your high school to your college, like 2K5, oh no, I'm sorry, 2K, this year's 2K, not 17 but 16, they used, they bought a couple of college licenses. So use a couple of schools, powerhouse schools or little, small time schools or whatever. Use that for your my career, then implement the 30 for 30 and NFL Films. And then that's not even, see, I ain't even get to the coup de grace, and the coup de grace is the Hard Knock series. Implement that as well with the creator a player mode. So, I mean, just use the license to the full potential. Now, when we speak about ESPN, you got to also bring up NFL Primetime. You got Berman, you got Jackson, you got Carter, etc., whoever the analysts are. You got pre and post game show, Sports Center, of course, which will give you the NFL news, news around the league, the NFL draft, which ties into the story mode as well. Then there's the granddaddy and long-awaited presentation of Monday Night Football. ESPN holds the rights to Monday Night Football. Why aren't you implementing that? I see all these swipes. When you play 17, you're gonna see all these swipes, NFL's, NFL swipes, NFC swipes, AFC swipes. You have the capability to use these licenses to the full extent. So you can't tell me you're one of the leading developers in the game industry. You can't tell me you don't have the resources and or the revenue to get it done. What you make on MUT alone on a daily basis could go to funding utilizing these licenses to the full potential. I think the possibilities are endless. And once again, when you're the only game in town, we gotta hold you to the fire, man. We just do. Either that or open up the doors for competition. Then we can lay off of you, because then we can purchase another game that's gonna give us what you ain't giving us. I don't know. I mean, these are some of the ideas that just float around in the minds of myself and people I've talked to in the community, um, as a general, But I would also like to address and share with the absence of the NCAA football series. The developers of that series did an amazing job every year, in my opinion. And then in some cases, they beat Madden. I know a lot of folks who would prefer the college game over Madden. And unfortunately, we don't have that franchise right now. I'm hoping and praying that we can get the collegiate license back going, and but the things that are being implemented in Madden, once again, if you're a true gamer, if you're a sports gamer, you play NCAA, you buy Madden, you play NCAA, and most of the times you bought Madden because you wanted your player from college to be imported in Madden. So, but you can't put the wolves over our eyes and can't tell us that the things that you're implementing in Madden hadn't already been done before in the college game. You know, you may have added two or three more new nuances to your game, but college was kicking you out butt. I mean, that's just straight up honest. I'm about to close this video out, but um, I, but in closing, I do think that there should be more people hired on to the development staff. I know EA has the money to do it. Once again, the revenue they get on MUT alone is more than enough. And if you don't know what MUT is, it's Madden Ultimate Team. Plus, Madden is a system seller. Every year it gets bundled. Whenever a new console comes out, it's always bundled together. So you can't tell me that y'all don't have the revenue or the resources. Now, there could possibly be a hiatus staff that works on Madden, on the Madden that we always wanted, and there can be a staff that works on Madden just staying up to date with the ability to now patch in live commentary with up to date events. I can clearly see that the technology is there for them to have a team that's or go on hiatus. Either have a team that's solely purpose is to get the game where it needs to be, and one team that's just keeping it up to date. So those are my concerns, my thoughts. Once again, my name is Curtis. Hit me up with some likes, dislikes, comments. It's all good. Follow me on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. All right, and yeah, I know y'all see that up there. Yeah, that's the city. That's the city right there. I'm not from Seattle. Actually, I'm from Texas, but I rep them Hawks. All right, later.